key elements of the next FMO program. Then some information on the digital e-learning platform and the curriculum on computer and data science, which ties in with this as well, which is also now well on the way. And then the big part of today is looking at the special issue of data intelligence. And I'm very, very happy to welcome Fenghong Liu, who is managing data intelligence and who will be available to discuss this with us here today. And also Susan Sellers, with whom I've worked for many, many years, and also is a very good friend of mine, and who will be assisting us in the all the editorial support in this realization of our contributions to this special issue. So really a warm welcome to both of you, and good to see you here. And then last is some information on an update of a seminar on digital and youth employment by the Dutch government, which will be held on Thursday. And it would actually be quite good to see many of us there in that seminar as well. So we would also like to give some information on that. So let me see, go here. On the update of the FMO and the Google project, the organization is in the hands of the steering committee, which then reports to the VODAN board. I'll ask Francesca in a moment to update us further on that, and also how we are going to move forward with the rollout of it and the planning work that we have done in relation to the budget. As you know, the deliverables in terms of rollout are very much concentrated on Ethiopia, Zimbabwe and Uganda, but also in addition to that, in the further technical development which will support all our countries, and where our really primary objective is to keep the current VODAN Africa group sustained, and make sure that we can now concentrate on resolving some of the issues that we came across in the work towards the proof of concept, and making sure that we are preparing ourselves to technically do the work to overcome these obstacles that have been identified. So maybe Professor Francesca, I may give you the floor to update where we are, the meetings that we've had, and so that people understand the current state of the art. The floor is yours.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you, Professor Miriam, and I would like to welcome all the members of our network and our supporters. I can see Misha, Fegong, Dr. Araya. I'd like to welcome you, and every other person. I won't be able to go through all the list, and Clara as well. So as not to take too much time, I'll just speak briefly on this update. You all already know that we received some support from the FMO and the Google that had been announced. And fortunately for the one of Google, it's an unrestricted gift. So we have the opportunity to expand our network and do so many things that we wanted to do, but which we didn't really have the funding support for. The steering committee, we actually had an operational meeting last week Friday with the representative of our funding organizations, and they asked me to express to you their pride and appreciation for what we've been able to achieve, especially with the Phillips Foundation that gave the seed funding, and also they gave the expression of their continuous support, because we had actually demonstrated the capacity And then we have also shown that we can make the impact. Professor, I don't know, you want me to talk about the membership of the VODAN board and the steering committee at this point?
I think that would be good, yes.
Okay. So for the governance structure in the VODAN Africa, the board, of course, chaired by the VC of KIU, Dr. Mpeza, who is also the chairperson of the implementation network of VODAN for Africa, and with me as the overall coordinator. For Ethiopia, we have Dr. Araya, who is here with us. Zimbabwe, the team is led by Dr. Chindaya, who is also the Pro Vice Chancellor of the Great Zimbabwe University. And for Nigeria, we have Dr. Sakinat and Dr. Abdullahi, who have been leading the country, and they will still be on the board. Dr. Mariam and Morgan are leading the Tunisia, and we have Dr. Reginald from Kenya. And our own mama, Professor Miriam, has happily accepted to sit on the board. Thank you very much, Professor Miriam. And the steering committee, our sponsors and a number of our supporters today have agreed to also want to continue to give their support. So we have the VODAN Africa Steering Committee for this second phase, chaired by our very own Professor Miriam Van Reysen, and with me coordinating as usual. And of course, Dr. Araya, Dr. Andrew Chindaya, and CODAID. From CODAID, one of our funding organizations from Europe, we have Christina and Martin. Dr. Badmima from the Go Fair Foundation, you all know Bet. He has been with us from the beginning, and he's still always with us, providing all the technical support. And Dr. Eric Shorters will be the technical coordinator. We're still hoping to continue to work with Charles and Ivy from Ravelworks for the production line and training. And we have for product development, Hans Bachmann, who is also a member of the VODAN Africa Foundation, is also offering support. Representing the FMO, our most recent funder is Jasper Clarkwick. Some of you must have met him at some of our webinars. And of course, our own Margot Kudmans, who has always been with us, who is so excited for us, representing the Philips Foundation. So in terms of the structure, we have the consortium, which is mainly the CODAID, the Philips Foundation, and Go Fair, and you already know their representatives from my previous presentation. So the governance structure of VODAN Africa, we have the board, which consists of the chairman, the VC, me as the executive coordinator, and the various country coordinators. And we report to the steering committee for Africa in this second phase, and the steering committee reports to the consortium. I will also like to thank Professor Miriam for helping us to think this through, because like you've always known, this is new to many of us, but she has been able to bring her experiences to help us to organize things in this manner. On the budget, we are happy that we're not going to be cash-strapped from zero to hero. Now we have our MDPs in those countries, and we're hoping to be able to, in addition to giving our deliverables in the 3 core countries in the second phase, to continue to support the other 3 countries of Kenya, Tunisia, and Nigeria, to continue with our technical development, be able to support our PhD candidates among us, Getu, Aliyah, Putu, who are offering so much services, and we also have some additional master students joining us. And the country meetings will continue. We want to have strong teams in all the countries that are members of the VODAN Africa. We have continued to meet on this. And we have the Norfolk project as well, which VODAN Africa is also one way or the other being part of. We're working with some members of the VODAN Africa network to build curriculum towards strengthening fair data in Africa, and of course, data science research. And we hope that the technical leadership will continue to lead us and provide all the support. Professor Miriam, I'm going to leave you to continue at this point, to continue to lead the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. That is excellent, Professor Francesca. In terms of the governance structure, that was a very detailed description. And so the consortium group reports to the steering committee. The steering committee has all the funders and the implementers together. And the steering committee reports to the VODAN Africa board, which is chaired by the VC with Francesca as the coordinator, and then Dr. Raya, Dr. Chindanya, and so on. So the next task, we have had the consortium meeting last week. The next task is now for the steering committee to meet, and then for the steering committee to take the instructions of the VODAN Africa board. And this is our next task, which we will be reporting on to you next week. And from there, we can then really start looking at the rollout. In terms of the planning of the VODAN Africa board and the steering committee meetings, I don't know, Professor Francesca, if we can give any more specific timelines, or that we will provide those timelines at the next meeting. How would you like to see it?
Yes, I know for the steering committee, there is a meeting proposed for, I think, between 21st and 23rd of this month at the last operational meeting. For the VODAN Africa board, I had discussed with the VC, who is the chair, and they asked me to hold on until we complete the signing of the documents of incorporation, because I had actually sent out a doodle and the board members had all indicated their availabilities, I think, except two, Dr. Andrew Chindaya and one other person. But then the VC had asked me to hold on from calling a meeting until until Simon completes the registration process when we sign, yes.
All right.
So unless we can have an informal meeting like that of the consortium the other time, if I could suggest that to him, so that if it becomes absolutely necessary. Okay.
Yeah, I think that the VODAN board can meet, and that they can direct the establishment of the organization, and the establishment of the organization in any case will be moved forward further this week. So I think all of that can then come together, and the VODAN board can be briefed of that. Obviously, VC accepting that, because he is the chair. I'm only suggesting this in my capacity as advisor to the board.
Okay, thank you.
Then we spoke last week of the data competence centers, and I just wanted to take it back so that it doesn't get forgotten. And I would really commend it to the VODAN Africa board to pick it up as one of the first issues, that the data competence centers are really the equivalent of what is also moving forward in international context. I don't know, Feng Hong, if you are also having a data competence center actually in China. I know in the Netherlands, all the universities are now establishing these data competence centers, which then help the researchers with the fair data, the verification of data. This is research data, which is in addition, of course, to the work that we do on the COVID-19 data. Feng Hong, can you speak to that, or not really? I don't know. Let me just ask you.
You mean in China? So for the whole country, there. I know like in the China's cardinal census, in the system of China's cardinal census, there are over 100 independent research institutes of China's cardinal census, and there is one institute which is in charge of all of the research data for the whole CES. and there is something like a data center, but I don't know what do you mean about data competence center. That's there's a competition like for.
It's like a competency, like the way this is being established on the European side is that the universities establish their data competence centers to assist the researchers in creating data as fair. And so I think that this is something that is very relevant and important for the VODAN Africa group to also consider and plan, and is something that the VODAN Africa board could put on its agenda actually.
Okay, I got it. Yes, there's a similar data center in China, also in China's academic sense. Yes, yes, there is indeed.
Good. Yeah, thank you. I don't know if anybody else would like to speak to this. Perhaps I can ask Dr. Sakinat or Dr. Araya to speak to this issue and whether this issue is clear to you and why this is actually important.
Yes, thank you, Miriam. I think it's a welcome idea, but what I just want to get clear, is the data competence center, is it synonymous to repository, data repository?
It's not necessarily a repository in the sense that we are visiting the data, right, in residence. So the Data Competence Center is just ensuring that the researchers have the expertise to create data on the FAIR data points. So this comes, so this comes as a task or a responsibility in addition to the COVID-19 data or observational patient data. So it adds actually a third responsibility that is very much in line with the international guidelines to create fair data. And for some of the work, like for instance, in the context of the NIH calls or the European Commission research calls, it's actually an obligation that the research data are published on the FAIR data points as fair. So it's important that that quality of the FAIR data is also understood. And maybe we need to decide to have a specific session next week or the week after, as we are preparing for the rollout of the FMO and Google project. Maybe we should do a particular session on this issue. I get the feeling that that may be a good idea.
Yes, Professor Miriam, I was just about to suggest that we find someone who would be willing to give a webinar on the DCC and the requirements. So I know Eric from Leiden University Medical Center is very passionate about this, and you were to have a meeting with him on the operationalization of the VODAN Africa LUMC DCC. So maybe this could be a good opportunity to have him after our meeting with him, and once we've discussed and finalized on the operationalization.
Yes. Okay. Then I think it is an agreement. I can't see my chat well at the moment, but
Professor, there is a question. Will the data competence centers have computational resources? And the question is from Abina.
They can have, yes, they can have. So it is supporting the data analytics as such, as well as the publication of research data on the FAIR data points. Yes, Abina, yeah. And of course, I understand that these are matters for the universities as a whole. There's not for VODAN Africa or for this group to decide. But I think that's important to put it on the agenda, because course, as VODAN Africa, we are the holders of the understanding and knowledge on the development on fair data, and the data competence centers are relevant to that. I will suggest Putu and Alia that for the next, or one of the next webinars, we put this explicitly on the agenda, so that now I'll move forward to the next topic, which is that in terms of the technical planning, we have done some outreach. I don't know if, Professor Francesca, if you would like to speak to this, the proposal to have our team focus on particular issues in our technical planning.
Okay, thank you, Professor Miriam. Yes, we had forward these proposals for the members of our team in terms of our technical planning. For the FDPs, the installation and documentation of our experiences and difficulties and problems that we have. It's of course being handled by Miriam Basaja, and I'm sure quite a number of us must have seen the document which you had made and shared with the DSW and then the CEDA guys. Yes, we have two major platforms, the DSW Wizard and the CEDA. And for the DSW, on which most of our VODAN in a box, there are FDPs in the different countries are based. We have seen some problems that have come with it. For example, it is difficult or it's impossible to make bulk import of data. So if you have 2,500 patient data, you have to manually enter each one into the ECRF template. So we're looking at bringing in additional functionality into the DSW. And of course, we have some countries in the network that already have their health informatics systems, and it will be hard to ask them to actually abandon that for the VODAN Africa FDPs directly. So we're looking at how to adapt those already existing health information systems into the FDPs and the DSW Wizard to see how we can have a kind of interoperability. So in this group, we have the technical guys, Getu and Tigist, and of course, I know some other ones like Nambobi, Gusite, who had indicated interest. And please, members, feel free to also reach out to me or to Getu if you're interested in being part of this technical contribution. And for CEDA is good, yes, and I think Tunisia, our team in Tunisia, they have actually created their own templates on CEDA, but then we've had this issue with localization of CEDA, so we also look at it. We have the technical people who can work on this, and this team will be led by Aliyah. For research data and CEDA, Professor Mariam, who had actually used CEDA platform to verify their data, will be working with Aliyah on this. And on the fair equivalency, we have Putu leading that team. So I will expect that Professor, I will expect that the team leads in each of these technical categories would come together or will put together a document for at least a brief document as a starting point on their requirements, just something sketchy, and we can circulate to members of our community so that the data stewards who are interested in any of this could actually indicate interest, and then we have some kind of team working together. Thank you.
Thank you, Francesca. So this is to get some first conversation on some specialization for our involvement on key issues. And this is definitely not to exclude anyone, but to include. So anyone who feels that you would be able to contribute to this or that, or any additional issues that you've noticed and that we may not have picked up yet, please inform any one of us, Professor Francesca or Aliyah or Putu or myself, so that we then pick that up and also include this in the planning. Can I continue? Any other issue here, Aliyah, or should I go to the next?
Well, everything is fine. We can continue, I think. Thank you.
Thank you. Then the rollout in Ethiopia and Zimbabwe, we have started to have the initial country meetings. We need to have more. We are fortunate that we have Dr. Araya here and Wondimu and Gitu. So in Ethiopia, we have already got a very good team. In Zimbabwe, we also have a good team, and we just need to get to this next stage of speaking to the teams and get this going as well, in addition to the technical planning. I don't know if on this there are any further updates that anyone would like to give, Dr. Araya perhaps, or Dr. Reginald. Anyone would like to add on to this?
Yeah, hello, Professor.
Hello.
Yeah, this is Araya. Thank you. I think I will add, and it would be good if Getu can speak on the progress so far. But in general, as a team from Ethiopia, we are very happy to see this initiative to go forward and to think how we can go forward and to the next phase.
Thank you, Araya. Thank you, Dr. Araya. Gitu, would you like to speak at this point?
Hello, this is Getu. Hi, everybody. As Dr. Araya said, we had a really good progress so far, and the rollout in Ethiopia and Zimbabwe will give us the chance to exercise what we have learned and expand the exposure of FAIR, and I think we have also good technical staff in our digital health research center. So we will try to utilize this to make sure the success of the project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gitu. And I don't know if Wondimu would also like to add something. Wondimu?
Hello. Hi, how are you?
Fine.
Yeah, I'm very happy to see, this success of this project. I think we are very glad to be the part of this project. So I think we have a good opportunity to scale up this program especially for the program improvement. I think the government also will appreciate this, and we can channel it with the existing system. So we are very happy to be contribute.
Thank you, Wondimu.
Hello, Prof. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, Tashoma is also with us here. He's our colleague at Magal University, and he has been very well. He has been here in this initiative since the start. But
Yes.
also Toshima is one of, I would say he's not, he's my colleague, and I may have some bias, but he's a leading expert in electronic medical record in Ethiopia, and he was a champion for instituting, launching, and making sustainable the electronic medical record system we have at our referral hospital. So going forward, Prof, as you know, we have a digital health research center and we would like to see how FAIR and the experience of VODAN can be also implemented or can support the electronic health information system in the country, in Ethiopia. And also not only the different systems and platforms we have for electronic health information system, like the district health information system, the electronic community health information system, and the electronic medical record systems in hospitals. But also we would like to see how the experience of VODAN or the FAIR initiative application we have been exercising in the context of COVID, but also I see, and also it would be very interesting and also of priority to all of us. How can we implement these different initiatives and FAIR principles to the top priority health priorities like maternal and child health services, and also other communicable diseases which are of priority to the country and to the health system. And I'm very optimistic, and I see the potential of FAIR principles and what has been done so far through VODAN, and I'm very hopeful we can expand to the other areas of priority. In that way, we will make greater impact to the Ethiopian health system and other African countries' health system. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Araya. And I think it would be very good if Tezo Abegas could also join this group, because I think this group should really be looking at the interoperability between the FAIR output of data and the HIS, as well as application in specific priority areas, such as maternal health services. And I think on this, I should also give the floor to Dr. Reginald, because I think it tallies completely with the experience of where the Kenyan team is now at. Dr. Reginald.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. This is very wonderful exercise. Yes, and having gone through the training of VODAN in the box and understanding the situation in Kenya, we adopted a strategy of, first of all, training the team and then demonstrating that at local hospitals. So I'm very happy to have tried out a demonstration with Pumwani Maternity Hospital, and we're beginning to see the results that are being produced by William and the team there. And our strategy now is that once we have understood what happens at Pumwani Hospital, it's very easy to have an evidence-based approach to fairization of data in other hospitals. Yesterday, Avenue Hospital medical team came to Tangaza to understand how we can work together, and we think we can expand services there. Another need that has come out, and I'm very happy that the previous speakers have mentioned, is the whole to expand from COVID-19 to malaria and cancer, because these are very common issues that are affecting us. So I really thank VODAN Africa for this chance, and as we grow, we hope to develop our technical team to be good supporters of this project around the country. And of course, we are very happy working with Charles Kahiro. His technical skills are quite superior to most of us, so we're happy to consult him from time to time. And of course, Mariam Basaja, the team that is there that we are working with. So thank you very much, Professor Mariam.
Thank you, Dr. Reginald. And I can see that what is happening here is yourself, Dr. Araya, the coordinators from the countries who constitute the VODAN Africa board, that issues across are really now becoming very apparent, and that I also hope that you will cross-link and so help to link connections and collaboration, for instance, between Tessom and William. I can see that that makes a lot of sense. And the same, of course, will be happening with the Nigeria team. I know that, and all the other teams. And I know that Professor Francesca has been doing exactly that. Just to say that this is good and this should intensify, that those working on the same issues are working together. And that was exactly the what we were trying to do by putting up this slide and then again this slide. And this can be detailed further as we are picking up more of these critical issues. Thank you very much for that update. Then in terms of the digital e-learning platform, maybe a very brief update, Professor Francesca and Gitu Alia, on this issue. We have discussed it this morning in another webinar. Francesca, please, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Professor Miriam. Just a brief update. Some partners in the VODAN Africa project, they have the NOFI grant to actually develop some e-learning platforms in some countries in East Africa. Specifically, Mekele University and Kampala International University are leading two different but convergent delivery initiatives under the NOFIC program. And unfortunately, some members of our network are going to also be working on this project as well. That is Aliyah, Getu, Dr. Wondimu and I, and of course, Dr. Araya. It's also part of the management and supervisory team. And one of the key things we'll be doing is to build 3-month certificate courses on data science and computer science, and of course, our own fair data principles. And we're very lucky and happy and proud that VODAN Africa is also offering this expertise to a sister project, actually. And the courses will be available on the KIU Digital Learning Platform from 2021. I don't know if you would like to add some more things, Professor.
I think for now this is fine, and we will keep updating. If there's anything that you feel would be very useful from your context or from your work, let us know. You know how to reach us. So we are happy to work with anybody on this. So now that we have Feng Hong here and also Susan, I would really like to make sure that we've got some time to spend on this special issue of data intelligence. Feng Hong is in charge of that from our VODAN Africa platform. Well, that is a question. It's VODAN Africa and Asia. I think we should go to VODAN AA or AAA. We have Aliyah, who is coordinating this for us. And we have sent the link, which leads you to this document. I'm not going to click that now, but the general list of topics, I am sure you have seen. They really cover our work of the journey of the last 6 months. The requirements of the articles are identified, and also the timeline with a close for abstracts at 15th of October, but that's a little extendable, but we would like to end publication around 2021, April 2021, I mean. And in that period,
there's an observation for 15 January 2020. I think it's supposed to be 15 January 2021.
The final publishing of the special would be around April 2021. That's our target time. We had initially set as a close for abstracts 15th October 2020, but I think we need to give that a little bit of time because people have been trying to orientate themselves. So we'll give that a little bit of a longer stretch. But
yeah, Prof. Miriam. Hello, Prof. Miriam. That's what I mean. 15 January 2021, the first draft of article. I think there's a typo there for the timeline.
Oh, this one?
15 January 2021.
Here, this one?
Yes, up. Yeah, should be 15 July 2021.
It is, it's here. Oh, what did I do? I jumped. It's here, the first draft. Can you see my arrow? No, you can't see my arrow.
Yes, we can see your arrow.
Oh, so
You're
here's
there.
the article. Is it wrong? I think I copied it from the document itself, so it will be the same.
We're saying it should be 2021 because January 2020 already passed here.
I'm so sorry. I'm living in the past. I'm very sorry. Ibrahim, thank you. I get it. I'll change.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And then with a critical time here on the discussions of abstracts at the FAIR Convergence Conference, which is to take place in early December. And we have put in from our side with Professor Francesca and others a number of webinars and panel discussions, and you can still actually for that conference also make proposals for poster presentations, which is all good because it helps to prepare the articles. Now, I'm going to give to Feng Hong, but I wanted to just show a few good things that have already happened. There is this proposed new article that I saw from the Niger state with yourself, Ibrahim, and many of your colleagues, which is just excellent. And then I also saw here that Wondimu had, I think, added his name to this proposed article, which is also very, very good. So, that is where we are, and I would like to ask Feng Hong to give us some update on the experience of the previous special issue. Maria, myself, Francesca, we were part of that process. So she is our expert here, and perhaps maybe I will take this slide here and hand over to you, Feng Hong, on the on your experience and what you would like to share today with us on the preparation of the special issue. Please, over to you.
Thank you, Professor. I got a presentation, so can I share my screen?
Definitely. That is Professor Francesca. Can you share the screen with Feng Hong?
Yes, yes, you can go ahead, Feng Hong. Please go ahead, Feng Hong, and share your screen.
Yeah, just click share screen, right?
Yeah.
So can you see my screen? Hello.
Yeah, screen. Yes, yes, I can see your screen. For me, I can see your screen.
Okay. 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 So firstly, I'd like to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Feng Hong Liu. I am an associate professor at the University of Chinese Academy of Sciences. I'm also the managing editor-in-chief of the Data Intelligence Journal. So firstly, I'd like to thank Professor Mayam. I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce your name perfectly. For having me. I'm really pleased and honored to be here to share with you about the, actually not the experiences about the special issue, but the general process of manuscript handling of the Data Intelligence Journal. Firstly, I'd like to introduce my journal a little bit. As you know, it is called Data Intelligence. It was co-launched by the Chinese Academy of Sciences and the MIT Press 2 years ago, so 2019. And this journal is sponsored by the National Science Library of Chinese Academy of Sciences. So Data Intelligence Journal actually is not a traditional journal, it's beyond a journal. We aim to create a journal which is support both machine and human being readable. That is our goal. And we have already published 8 issues. This journal has like 2-year history, and each year we publish 4 issues. And up to now, we have published 8 issues. Last year, we organized a very successful special issue on FAIR. You can see this picture. So Professor Bernard Mans is editor, guest editor of that special issue. And I think some of participants of this meeting are the authors of that special issue. So Professor Miriam, I know you are the key author of that special issue. Thank you. And we also made a very good campaign as a CODATA annual conference, which took place in Beijing last year. So that picture was taken at that conference. And like I mentioned before, a data and test journal is not a traditional journal. Besides the traditional research articles, we also publish data articles. That means, we collect and publish data set, and along with the data set, we publish the description about the data set. That is data articles. I think many of you know that. And we also publish application articles. So for me, this type of articles, we don't require the novelty of the ideas or the how to say, we don't require the technical details. We don't require the novelty of ideas. We just hope the authors can speak a whole story to tell people, what other peers can get like experiences and lessons from the authors. Do you know what I mean? I hope, we hope this type of article can provide like reference significance for other peers. We also publish perspective, like commentary and opinion articles. So in this, for this type of article, we want to open up a channel for young scholars. We want to give young scholars opportunity for them to get their voices heard by a broader range of people. And besides the research, besides the articles, we also have like a data repository. So you can see this picture as a left upper left side of this slide. This is the data repository of the journal. I mean, so this picture shows its picture show is a page of an article, and you can see there's a link to the associated data set the article described. And by clicking the link, and you can go to the data repository, and the data repository will provide the detailed information about the data set. And some actual data can be open accessible to the public. And for each data set, we provide DOI and PID. I think this already met the minimal requirement of FAIR principle, right? So each data set has one PID, unique PID. So for how to prepare a manuscript for the journal, actually, authors can get a very detailed information from the journal's website. Here is the link. Here is the navigation bar of that page, like the basic format and style, like the how to organize a manuscript and which language style the authors should use. All of the information can be found at the web page. I won't go through all of this. Here I'd like to give you some of reminders. I mean, some tips as an author, maybe you'll need to pay attention to. Like, firstly, please make sure which article type your article belongs to, and to say oh, I'm sorry. And when preparing your manuscript, please pay attention to like in-text citation and reference list. I mean, all of the format will take a lot of editorial work if authors do not follow the requirements. And we also need author to provide detailed contribution statement, like which author, what each author does for the article for the research. And we also need author to provide a very small mini biography file, like a profile photo along with a biography less than 250 words are needed. And if your article is about a data set, and if your article is based on an algorithm, or there's any code you want to share, you are welcome to submit your data set, your code to the journal along with your manuscript. Like I said before, we have a data repository. There you can put your code and data set public. Mm-hmm. And we use, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. There's two templates. There, one is in Word format, and we also provide LaTeX template. So you can just download the templates, and and then you don't need to take a lot of time to edit the format and style of your manuscript. You can just follow the templates. Mm-hmm. And we use a very friendly manuscript handling system, which is Scholar One. I think many of you have already used it because it's widely used by many international journals. And here is the link. So, Professor, I also want to talk about that with you. So last time when we did the special issue on FAIR, we actually didn't use the manuscript handling system. So I think this time we can ask author to submit their full-length article to the system so that we can handle each article more easily. What do you think? Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think that is very, very good. What I would like to understand, Feng Hong, is do you want the whole special issue to be prepared first with the support of Alia and Susan in terms of the editing before we submit it, or do you want them to work through this system, but then they would need to have editorial, they should be granted editorial rights? How would you see that practically, or should we discuss this offline and report this back to the group next week?
Mm-hmm. Let me think about that. So you mean before submitting all of the articles, so when will the editorial work be done, right? That's your question, before submitting or after?
Yeah, so that perhaps we can do the editorial work before we submit it, so that then already we have done all the checks in terms of the requirements, and also just being able to help generally where we can be of help. And that I'm going to the time planning now, that then we ask authors to submit it to you by April 2021, and you take it through the final fine-tuning that you need to do before publishing.
That will be great, but that depends on, so do you want me to get involved in the peer review process?
Definitely, yes.
So, so how, I mean, who will do the peer review? Do we need to establish like a review panel? Or just the CAT editors can do all of do peer review for all of the articles? Or
no, I think be in the peer review, and also Dr. Sakinat has offered to be from our side chairing a peer review committee together with you. She could be working with you.
Okay, I got it. So that is actually the general handling process of the DI journal. But I think for the special issue, we can change it. We don't need to follow this process. You know, I think guest editor, so professor, you will make the final decision for all of the articles, and yes. So my question is, do we need to invite other peer reviewers? I mean, besides the guest editors, like external reviewers, external experts?
That would be a good idea. Perhaps could I suggest that there is a discussion between yourself and Dr. Sakinat to discuss this, and then to come back to us, and then we know what the decision will be. I think it will be good to have you from the journal, to have Dr. Sakinat from our group, and then perhaps one external peer reviewer would be very good.
Okay. I will rush to the end. Yeah, that is what I wanted to share, and I'm looking forward to working with you guys. I firmly believe this special issue will be very successful, and I also hope the WADAN project will encourage more people to join in this great initiative. And I have been thinking about if China can join in, but of course I cannot be the representative, but I hope someday China can do the similar work, because China has got the largest population, and we have so much data and so many resources which really are needed to get fair. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you really, really very much. This was very clear and very thoughtful. I think it's very important that the special issue is not limited to VODAN Africa, but you have seen it, everybody has seen it from the content. I think it's really good that we have Indonesia here, the work that Putu has done on the equivalency of FAIR and all data Indonesia from the government. Aliyah herself did excellent work in Kazakhstan. We also have one of our researchers who looked at fair equivalency in a hospital in China. That is also a proposed chapter. And we will take your advice on how to develop the work further across the continents. That is our intention. And of course, we have Christine Kirkpatrick from the US, following it very closely and updating herself with me and Professor Francesca all the time. So, and then we also have the Brazil group was in the first issue. They were very active. So at some point, we will also need to make sure that we have these bridges. I think we have a very active bridging now between the African, Asian, and European continent and the US. And I will ask Eric and Baron sometime. I see Betis here, whether we should also get more active engagement from Brazil from this group. I think that would be very good as well. There is a need to close the meeting at this point because we are over the time. I have just the announcement to make for the Thursday meeting with the Dutch government and FMO and foundation will be there. So I'll make a plea for as many people as possible to attend that. I will ask Putu and Alia to put the information on the WhatsApp. Susan, I thank you for being here, and we'll give you the floor at some point to also reflect on everything that you've heard, but I think you were here to just see and acquaint yourself with the process. And Dr. Ferron, can we just thank you so much and invite you regularly on this webinar, so that now that we've got all the information, we can reflect on it and make sure that not only this should be a very special issue, but also that the researchers know to find the way to your journal. I can see that there would be huge potential for the Tunisian researchers, for instance, to publish and so on. So we just want to make sure that we contribute to this incredible platform that you have to offer. And for now, really like to thank you. Let me see if there are any final urgent questions. And Fengong, let me allow you to close this session that you have, where you have presented.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You have any closing words, Fengong?
Oh, me? Oh, thank you, Professor. Thank you again. And I love to join you guys. So that's actually, I actually, before this meeting, I actually wanted to ask you if I could join in this team. I mean, not only as a guest editor of the special issue, I also want to learn, I mean, from this great initiative. And like I said before, I hope someday China can be one of the members of this great project, and I can join you guys as a project member. Mm-hmm.
That's a great outcome of this meeting, and I know I'm speaking for everybody that you are very, very welcome. So we'll ask Putu to make sure that you are in all of the channels, and that we will see you as a regular. And so first of all, will be next week on Tuesday. Francesca, I was speaking for you, right?
Yes, Prof. Yes, thank you so much, Ferron, and we warmly welcome you. We're happy to have you with us. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
So welcome, and I would like to thank everybody for your presence. Next week, we will discuss a little bit more on the Data Competence Center, but also we will then come back to this special issue, Fengong, so that everybody can have processed it. And please, can I ask everybody to start sending the abstracts, and to again go to the worksheets, how do you say that? The Word documents, where you can add your name as an author, or where you can also add additional articles for this special issue. And then we will be adapting the timeline and start announcing the next steps on these articles. I think that's all for now. Thank you everyone for this session, and looking forward to seeing you again next week. And Alia, over to you for the closing of this meeting.
Yes, Professor Miriam, thank you. This was really nice presentation. Fengong, thank you very much for this very useful and helpful presentation as well. Professor Francesca and all other speakers, thank you for attending this meeting, and we came to the closing point. So I would like to close this session, and we will see you next Tuesday, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Alia. See you next week.
Bye.
Thank you, Alia. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.